This meeting is being recorded.
Welcome back to the Stephen Knight Show. We're all over social media. Well, we're on Facebook, we're on Blue Sky, and we're trying to get our other accounts back. But anyway, go to our YouTube channel, The Stephen Knight Show. Please subscribe. All right, well, President-elect Donald Trump stated that he's considering pardoning supporters who were involved in January 6th Capitol attack as soon as he takes office, claiming that those locked up are living in hell. Now, Trump made these remarks his boldest since securing the election during the exclusive interview with NBC's Meet the Press anchor Kristen Walker. He also emphasized that he wouldn't use the Justice Department to go after his political enemies, but made it clear that some members of the House committee who investigated the Capitol riot should be going to jail. Trump promised that on the first day in office, he'd bring legal relief to the January 6 rioters, claiming they've been subjected to very nasty system. So I'm going to be acting very quickly. First day, Trump said, saying later about their imprisonment, they've been in there for years, and they're in a filthy, disgusting place that shouldn't even be allowed to be open. Trump said that there may be some exceptions to the pardons. If someone was radical crazy and pointed to some debunked claims that anti-Trump elements and law enforcement operatives infuriated the crowd. So far, over 1,572 people have been charged in connection with the Capitol attack, and more than 1,251 either convicted or pleaded guilty. Out of the group, at least 645 have been sentenced to prison time ranging from a few days to as much as 22 years in federal lockup. Currently, about 250 are behind bars, most serving time after being convicted, while a small number are still in detention, held under the federal judge orders. So we elect a felon, and now he wants to let criminals pardon them because he feels like that they didn't do much wrong. It was peaceful. Shaq, your thoughts?
This messaging is just, I mean, are we, you one have to ask, are we living in a simulation? Like, I just need to know. I don't feel like I'm plugged in right now. I feel like I'm not. Like, I just really, honestly, when I hear all of this, I'm thinking, where is the common sense? Where is the decency? It doesn't take a political junkie to realize that, first of all, it's so many layers to this, he's president-elect. That's just like, where do you want to put that? Let's just start there. And now these people literally went to storm the Capitol. If we're also, let's go with Make America Great Again. How is that making America great again based on your standards? So it's just a lot of backpedaling. It's a lot of what I get is everything that we're doing is right. And whatever you say is wrong. But basically they're doing whatever he's doing and saying whatever he wants. And so that's doing nothing but fueling his supporters into his brainless supporters into thinking everything he says is right. Not even just taking a step further. Half of these people, a majority of these people voted against their own interests. So it's like, Trump is just anybody that's loyal to him, that's it. He doesn't care who they are, what they look like. At the end of that's one part of it. So honestly, this is typical him. I'm not shocked by this at all. He said that he was going to do it. He's doubled down on it now, obviously. And I think we should just enjoy these days of being able to, I don't know, speak freely, because you never know. Like, are we safe to just, is our free speech in question? So it's like, my thoughts are all over the place with him with this right now. But at the end of the day, I'm not shocked at all by any of this.
Yeah, Lanier, to Shaq's his point that Trump is nominating his loyalists to his cabinet, regardless of their experience. What are your thoughts on him pardoning the January 6th people?
I would like to protect my mental health and defer to my co-host Adam.
I almost crashed out. I feel it because I don't even
Yeah,
know
I
what
was
to
about to say I've turned myself off on a lot of this.
Yeah.
So quick thoughts. I don't think it'll actually happen. The guy says stuff all the time. He lies all the time. He's just talking for now. He's gonna do other things probably day one, but this is not something he cares about and not gonna waste his time with. That's what I think. I think it's just talk for the moment. So it riles people up because that's what people want to hear. Like they keep asking him these questions, he's going to say whatever, and so yeah, we'll see. But I don't think it's actually going to happen.
So you don't think he's not gonna like pardon them?
Not mass pardoning. He might pick a few, but like I don't think this is going to be like. And I don't know what goes into pardon, but I don't think. There's thousands of people. He's gonna go through the whole name and list them all and do all
right.
that. And like, yeah, whatever. He's gonna move on. He got what he wanted, and now he doesn't care.
Right.
Like he has no need to care about them.
He doesn't.
So
Yeah.
And in the end, we're gonna all see that we see that he really doesn't care, and that's part of my point too. Like at the end, everyone is so loyal to him, but what is he actually doing for you other than inciting this rage, this racism, and in you and wanting you to be more freely with it? But that's not gonna help you in your, like it's not gonna help you long run.
So
yeah.
I think nothing's gonna really happen out of this.
Agree.
The other thing for the interview, the news reporter asked him, will he concede to the 2020 election since the country's so divided, just to unify the country? Will he end it? He said, no, why would I do that? And then he said, Biden's the president, not me. Then he also said, she asked him about the tariffs and can he be sure that prices won't go up? He said, I can't be sure of anything. I can't be sure what happens tomorrow. People are getting what they voted for.
Yeah, and I think he's serious about those tariffs, though.
Oh yeah.
Back to the media though, they love talking about it.
They do. They're normalizing him.
Even on the Stephen Knight show, we talk about him.
I know. I don't even know what's going on, but I don't watch news as much as I used to. I just can't. I need a break.
Yeah.
All right. Well, investigation into the fatal shooting of United Health Care CEO Brian Thompson continues. Authorities are now questioning a man in Pennsylvania in connection to the incident. According to NBC News, the man in Altoona, Pennsylvania, captured the attention of the investigators after he was found with a gun that was similar to the one that shot Thompson. Police sources said the person being questioned was at McDonald's when people thought that he looked suspicious and alerted authorities. The man was found with a fake New Jersey ID, a gun, a silencer, similar to the one used in the fatal shooting of Thompson. Now, he was 26 years old. He was valedictorian in college. And he apparently had a lot going for him, but they were looking at some of the things he was reading online, and he was reading a lot about back pain and how one of the books he was reading was saying how doctors intentionally don't try to completely fix your back pain. They try to string it along, I guess, for the insurance money. But what's been interesting about this case, when Brian Thompson was murdered, online, a lot of people were celebrating it or not seeming to care. And it brought out a question about our healthcare industry. And you notice some other companies, Blue Cross Blue Shield and some other ones, first a lot of them took down who their CEOs were. And then some of them, they had started some policies, like one of them, I can't remember, was going to limit the amount of anesthesia you could have when you're having surgery, but they walked that back. Yeah. So first, I'll ask you, Adam, what are your thoughts on the man being captured? And second, do you think this will open a broadened conversation about our insurance industry, health insurance industry?
So to the second point, probably not. I think this is just like, okay, if you're a CEO, you're just going to get more security or something like that, right? Like, I don't think it's going to change much. This is going to become conversation for a few weeks. And then about him getting caught, I guess it's good they caught him. I mean, I guess, he didn't murder someone in the middle of New York
Right.
on broad daylight. And as I mentioned earlier,
Camera.
a life was lost. So, yeah, I think we knew they were going to find him too. This is, this person I think kind of also wanted to be at least found a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Shaq, do you think this will, because again, we're seeing the reversal of some of the policies that the healthcare companies were gonna instate, they've reversed them. And a lot of people, I'm seeing a lot of news coverage on insurance claims. What people were saying in the comments, they would start telling their stories how they were denied certain care and someone died or someone couldn't get better, things like that. Do you think we'll go back to, as Adam said, business as usual after this dies down?
Yeah, of course. We're a capitalist country. It's all about the profit at the end of the day. I think that this is, I mean, it's unfortunate that he lost his life. But, again, this is, even with that, it's a lot of, I think a lot of companies are kind of adjusting themselves to like calm everyone down a little bit, kind of reassure them. But the logistics of all of that, there's so many, it's just, for example, people thought they were good until they wasn't, right? When they really needed that coverage the most, and then they don't come through. So I think that it's all damage control at the end of the day. But we're a capitalist country. It's all about the profit, unfortunately. And I don't see anything pretty much changing. I mean, this kind of been going on for a while, Unfortunately, I don't want to sound doomsday, but I don't think anything is changing with that.
And Lanier, he was in the middle of the lawsuit. The gentleman that was gunned down in the middle of a lawsuit related to the company. He had been with the company over 20 years, but been in the CEO for about 2 or 3 years. What are your thoughts on people not having much pity for what we saw, his murder on camera, but more outraged about the practices of these companies?
So this ties into what I said earlier about the being desensitized and finding the reason. We all know that anything relating to insurance is like a super Ponzi wreck, period. And because people are on edge and upset about other things, they forget the human side that a man lost his life. And now they're focused on selfishness, but, well, my insurance company X, Y, and Z. Steven, you already said it. Half you mofos voted against your best interest because y'all got Obamacare, which is not Obamacare, but because he had, it was something that he put together,
Right.
y'all labeled it. So then y'all wanted to take away the name because it had power. And now you gave it the Affordable Care Act. But now you nincompoops don't realize that the Affordable Care Act is Obama plan. So every pre-existing condition that you had and why you couldn't get insurance before is because you had that coverage. Now they want to take that coverage away. They want to get rid of it, just like they want to get rid of a whole bunch of other things. And with this particular case, we all know insurance companies are greedy. So people are deferring to that side versus the human side of F him. That's really what they're deferring to. Unfortunately, that man has a whole family. He didn't wake up that day knowing that was going to happen.
Right.
And if he's only been in that position that long, because I don't know the full story. Like I still haven't heard the full story and why this happened. But if that's the case, then go after somebody that's been there way longer. Go after the people who own it, because he don't even own it. He just worked there. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I got a headache. I'm done.
We're the only
It's funny.
country of our magnitude that we don't offer our people our free health coverage.
Okay.
Healthcare.
It's a profit. And just to piggyback on what Linnea was saying, there were some comments about the outrage of, of his death, but instead they were saying things like coverage denied, rest in peace, some things like that.
I
But
wonder if his emergency room visit was covered.
Yeah, so a lot of this, so people were, that were under his, under United Healthcare were, like she said, was kind of desensitized to the fact. And I honestly, if you talking about people that have lost people, done their work every day, pay their coverage, on time, do all the things they're supposed to do. And so a part of me does, empathize with them that they don't care a little bit, honestly, because they've lost someone and it wasn't their fault. They thought they had coverage for it. As far as the shooter, I know that they said something was on the bullets. Defend this. What was it? I can't remember, but that was interesting to me to know that was this, his story. I don't think they kind of came out with all of that yet, but it's sad, he lost his life. Other people are outraged. They're putting their human side away because they feel, just living in rage and honestly don't care. So it's very, very sad to see, honestly, kind of depressing.
And apparently he had recently made a LinkedIn post about how proud he is of the company and what they value, trying to make cost affordable, et cetera, et cetera. And people were commenting on there, telling their stories, about loved ones or their own personal stories about how they couldn't get the coverage, they were denied this. One guy even put his phone number on there, could you please text me,
Right.
So yeah, I mean, that wasn't the way to go about it, but
is that what the genesis was? Like he got denied something?
Well, we don't know him.
No.
He had been looking up a lot of stuff on back pain and corporate greed, insurance greed. That was some of the things they saw that he had been researching and reading online. So, but we don't know yet the motive.
Yeah, the only thing I really heard was the news saying it was a light-skinned fella. He ain't nowhere.
I hate when they kept saying that light skin. I'm like, are y'all in the same picture?
Y'all know damn well he ain't light skinned.
Right. Yeah, they did.
I
was confused.
I don't know how true it is, but I think that this is another one of those stories. As it keeps going, you're going to hear some weird stuff.
And it was odd because his wife said that he had been getting death threats and he usually traveled with security. And that day he didn't. He was just walking around. That was, I don't know.
Oh, he's married?
Yeah, he's married. He had 2 kids.
I ain't gonna start no rumors.
Yeah, nah. All right, well, our last story. So federal appeals court on Friday unanimously voted to uphold a law that could ban TikTok in the U.S. in a few months. According to AP News, the U.S. Court of Appeals of the District of Columbia Circuit denied TikTok's petitions to overturn the law, which requires that social media platforms cut ties with Chinese-based parent company in mid-January. If the company is not sold at that time, it will be banned in the U.S. Well, a temporary lifting of the measure I'm sorry. Let me go back. All right, so TikTok has officially, before they was banned, the company has reportedly requested emergency pause to temporarily halt the ban. A temporary lifting of the measure would afford the Supreme Court time to determine whether it should review this exceptionally important case. Attorneys for the Department of Justice today urged the federal court to reject TikTok's request for a temporary injunction. The DOJ said it plans to file a formal motion opposing TikTok's request as soon as Wednesday, but the government agency urged the court to reject TikTok's request even before then. But a lot of people are saying, and TikTok, they're kind of using this to plead their case, is that there's so many businesses and people who now their livelihoods are based on their TikTok profiles and the revenue that they're making. And it could take a hit to the millions and millions of people that use TikTok here in the US. But the government's saying that by being a China-based company, that our personal data is at risk. Shaq, what are your thoughts on this?
Believe it or not, it's just very. I'm kind of for it, honestly.
Ban?
Yeah.
No.
I have not. I've always, and I don't want to dive into conspiracy, but I've always felt like TikTok was a little too addictive. When it came to, and it's so much information, that it definitely had. I mean, to me, I feel like it had a lot to do with the quote unquote programming, and propaganda that has been put out there that we're seeing results of it today. I feel like a part of that was to kind of disrupt America from within, that type of thing. I'm just saying that's how I feel about it. I mean, and I understand a lot of people have made their livelihoods. It's fun. It's interactive. People have made, it's changed people's lives. But, that's good. But what about the, a bird's eye view of everything? It's ruining like the mental state of people in America, in my opinion. So I was actually for the ban when they said it, like what, a year or two ago. So.
What's interesting, another big concern is the teenagers or the younger users. But in China, they don't have the information that we have here. They have more educational information. That's what they're
and it's regulated too, like heavily regulated. So all the other countries are regulating it. Meanwhile, we're just go ahead, look at it, right? And it's just like, why? And we're living here and understanding and seeing things, how people are so unhinged and so extreme, right? So I think TikTok has a lot to do with it. And don't get me wrong, I have TikTok. I'm not utilizing it as I feel like I should with my platform, but there's a lot of things I kind of look, search on TikTok, get my information, and then I bounce. Like scrolling for hours, I've done that a few times, and then I kind of realized, I was like, oh God, I can't do this. I'm losing sleep. Falling down a rabbit hole on some information that's intriguing to me.
It's easy to do.
It's so easy, and that's why I'm like, I can't. So if I have that type of discipline, I know kids, they're all they're in their phones 24/7. So I'm kind of for the ban.
There's this, if you scroll long enough, there's this video that comes up and the girl says, "Are you still scrolling?" I saw someone make a video and say, "Mind your business." Anyway, Adam, you think it should be banned?
Well, so I think, Shaq, that's an interesting point. You want it banned, but not for the reasons that the government wants it banned. It sounds like they're claiming the Chinese are going to take all of our data, but that's not really the issue. You want it out of here just because of the addictiveness, right?
Yeah, and I do feel like I feel like that's part of the reason, though. I feel like, what better way to, like, it's kind of like psychological in a sense, let's see what's capturing their attention and let's feed them this and take the attention off things that are more important. Now, of course, there are also political things on there, but there's so much information. People choose to believe what they want to believe.
And misinformation.
And misinformation. So I really feel like, to protect what's left of the American mindset, I would say. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Yeah. So I tried to use TikTok a couple of times and maybe I'm just too old for this, Steven. You can relate. Like we're not getting addicted by it. I keep swiping and nothing really gets to me. So I gave it a shot a few times. I was kind of ambivalent to it, but I will say, there's a whole economy built off of this now, right? And so like, I don't know if I would say we're too late, but those have to be considered. Like, there's people who will be literally unemployed once this happens, and you got to consider all factors of how this could change some economic factors and some things within our country and stuff like that could be affected with the ban. So it's an interesting case. I have a feeling it's going to be one of those where we keep hearing about it, and in the last minute, like, this injunction is approved and they don't ban it, and we just had listened to drama back and forth for years for nothing. But yeah, I don't know how I feel about the ban, just because there's so many factors that I don't know that could be affected by this.
And Linnea, apparently Trump is against the ban. What are your thoughts?
Of course.
Like Shaq and Adam, so I have a TikTok, but I think I've only posted one picture, and I don't even go to like dip in. Somebody might send me something from there, but I don't even. It's not even on my thought path. I mean, I guess it should have been a long time ago, but it's not even on my. But to touch on, this ain't about what they say it's about. It's about money. Because they don't know how to figure out how to tap into that money that people are making. That's what this is about. Let's be clear about that. Because you can take that away. Well, then you might as well take Instagram away. You might as well take Facebook, because there ain't nothing but junk on there. Nothing but junk and misinformation. So all of it can go somewhere. Then what would people do? They'd actually have to communicate in person. Have to bring back those interpersonal skills and the communication. Maybe cursive writing will come back. So those are the things that you have to be mindful of with all this is going on. Follow the money. If it ain't no money in it for these people over here, but y'all making money, then the people that's mostly, listen, it's people out here. Y'all got me want to put my feet on OnlyFans. Listen. Jay won't let me.
Right.
I'm just saying, like, it's a movement out here. And that's what they don't like either. People making that money. And they can't believe that you're making that money the way that you're making it.
Yeah.
I do feel though, as like you brought up an interesting point about the other platforms, usually when they see the engagement on one platform go up, they try to see what's working over there and then try to incorporate it. So like, just like Instagram got all these features now that TikTok has, or Facebook, they copy off of each other.
They're all copying.
Yeah. And so it's very
interesting and all that now.
And it's like it's so much. I just think that you make an interesting point about the money and the fact that Trump doesn't want it banned. You see what I'm saying? So it's kind of a contradiction a little bit, but I really truly feel like it has a lot to do with the mindset and what they're feeding. And I feel like it's worked. That's why Trump don't want it to ban, because it's worked thus far. Like, we have them where we want them.
Well,
we can say all of these things, and they're, people are, and even if we're saying this to one group of loyalists, these other group of people don't even care. Their minds are looking at, pimple popping and birds chirping, whatever they want to look at. They're saturated enough to just be here and just do not care. So
yeah, first of all,
maybe it's a little conspiracy, but
I'd love to find this bird chirping TikTok if there's someone making those. That sounds like a delight.
If you have TikTok right now, I'm pretty sure you can type in bird chirping. Literally TikTok.
You can find almost anything on there. I'm telling you.
And that's what's crazy about it. Anything. Like, if you can even type up, begin to type, and it just automatically, like, how did you know I was about to? It's kind of weird.
And then another point, actually, so it's funny because during Trump's first term, he's the one that announced that the ban. He actually wanted the ban the first go around, which goes back to my original point. He changes his sayings. He does all the stuff. So I'm not worried about like these big pardons, because everything just changes with him. So of course he's going to be on the opposite side now.
Of course. Yeah. We'll see what happens.
Interesting.
Yeah. Benny, I know you had a shout out you wanted to do.
So I want to give a shout out to Syleena, Queen, Mike, Theo, Natalie, and Darius. They are my new cohorts with the Camden County Collective. It's a new venture that I'm stepping into.
Okay.
I'm not gonna say too much right now, but once I tell y'all what what we really gonna be doing, then that'll be the fun part. But we had our first meeting tonight, so I wanted to say, hey, you guys, it was awesome meeting you. Had a great time. Looking forward to making magic in 2025 if we're not on a plantation somewhere.
Oh gosh.
Well, listen, before we go, everybody tell us what you're doing for the holidays. Lanier, what you doing for the holidays?
Huh?
What you doing for the holidays?
I'm unemployed. I ain't doing nothing. Everybody is getting thoughts and prayers.
Concepts of gifts.
You getting my thoughts and my prayers. And that's all I got for you. I ain't got nothing else.
What about you, Adam?
I'm a college student, sir. I'm a college student all over again. I ain't got no money.
Well, Steven, I'll be in Atlanta, so hopefully visiting you if you're in town for the holidays, but I don't know if you're going to be out and about.
Yeah, I'm gone from the 24th to 28th.
Oh, convenient.
When you here?
24th through the 28th. No, I'm just kidding. Actually, I'll be in on the 21st, so I'll hit you up and we'll catch up, and maybe I'll hang out with Shaq and try to get on his be a guest on his podcast, so I have somewhere new to go.
Hey, Shaq, what do you got planned?
I think I will be venturing home. I try to get my family one of these holidays. So I didn't go home for Thanksgiving. So I'll try to make it home for Christmas. I just want to be married. I need to buy some pajamas and relax. Hopefully the weather stays a little cool, not too cold. But yeah, I just plan on relaxing and enjoying family. And I think these times are much needed right now more than anything. So
yeah, recharge yourself. I'll be in Virginia with my family. So listen, happy holidays to you all. Adam, I will see you in movie reviews, and we'll be right back after this.